Where does the playoff picture stand after week 3 of the college football season? We do these playoff picture rankings. Full disclaimer, these are not projections, these are not predictions, this is current rankings. Now, the last few playoff picture rankings we've done, we have factored in a good amount of what we believe about these teams during the preseason. Now, as we're rounding the corner, headed down the home stretch of like the first month of the college football season, we are weighing a lot more heavily the actual season that has happened to this point, if that makes sense. So the way that we do this now, we do 11 teams, 1 through 11, and then for our 12th seed, our 12th team there, maybe not the 12th best team in America, but who we believe is right now the best G5 team. It's by nature of the 12-team playoff now, that's probably how this thing is going to work. So, with that being said, make sure you're subscribed right here. Talking college football, nothing but college football every single day. Want y'all a part of it. If you're a college football sicko, not into hot takes and clickbait and all that, then you found your show. All right, so we appreciate y'all being locked in and being subscribed right here. So let's start with that 12th seed, that G5 team that we think right now is the best in America. Boise State was on a bye. I'm going UNLV. UNLV has, count them now, not 1 but 2 P4 wins under their belt. Win over Houston and a win over Kansas. Now, they still have our Syracuse team left on the schedule. They will play Boise State on the schedule. So if you're like, hey, JD, Boise State, they're the best G5 team. They're going to have a chance to prove it on the field. You could go with Memphis after what they did to Florida State. But again, with the Power 4 conference wins, for me, I'm going with UNLV to be our G5 rep as of right now. Now, at number 11, I got Penn State. They're on a bye week, so it's tough to really have too much to say about them, both negative or positive. We said it last week during this segment. You have one good sample size for me offensively with how they played against West Virginia. Not a bad sample size against Bowling Green, but the defense overall makes you a little bit worried with how they looked against Bowling Green. So we'll see what Penn State is. They're going to have a chance now to make their case for this college football playoff committee. They're at USC. October 12th is the first time we'll see them probably have a little bit more of a potent roster they have to play against. That's going to be fun. If they can score with the Lincoln Riley offense or if they can stop Lincoln Riley offense, either way, it's going to tell us a lot about Penn State and where they're at. To me, it all comes down to how much you can get out of Drew Aller and that receiving core with Coach Koltanecki. Love what he's done so far, but off a bye, we'll put Penn State at 11. Now, I got Oregon at 10, which is up from a spot from last week. I guess Oregon had like a potato allergy because they did not play well against teams from Idaho the first 2 weeks. And then on a figure-it-out Saturday, we saw Oregon put 4 quarters of complimentary football together, went on the road against a rival after 2 subpar performances, and throttled Oregon State 49-14. Now, I don't think they're a finished product, but to see Oregon have some life, have some juice, have a little bit of momentum there, you're encouraged to see that. Now, they have to continue to trend upward if they want to get to where they want to go, but as of this week, we got Oregon in our 10 spot in our playoff picture rankings. Now, I have Utah at 9. Full disclosure, if Cam Rising, for whatever reason, wasn't able to be their quarterback going forward, we would probably not have Utah in this position. The expectation right now is Cam Rising is going to be back this upcoming week for Oklahoma State. So if you're a Utah fan, I apologize if I scared you a little bit there. But found a way, man. Found a way against Utah State with Isaac Wilson back there slinging the rock. Going to learn a lot about them this week going to Oklahoma State now. So Utah found a way on Figure It Out Saturday. I'm not going to knock them or put them out of the top 10 for that. Vibes should be high in Salt Lake. At number 8, I got USC. Now, they were off this week. They will move up past number 8, mark my words, if they beat Michigan. And don't look now, but USC is currently a 6.5-point favorite in that game, headed to Ann Arbor. It's a beautiful combo they got working right now through 2 games. The Miller Moss sauce, the defense being the bread and butter right now, which is a wild thing to say if you're a USC fan 2 weeks into the season. They're on a bye, so there's not a ton to take away here, but for me, still a top 10 team, and they're going to have a chance to make some real noise if they beat Michigan this upcoming week. Now, Tennessee, man, they are on a wanted list for homicide. They went 71-0 over Kent State. Like, Tennessee has just absolutely zero chill. And a lot of people say, well, yeah, but look at the competition. I'm looking at the competition. They weren't doing stuff like this last year offensively. That's not to dunk on Joe Milton. They just have a different gear with Nico Iamaleava. They have a different gear with these wide receivers. This defense has a different edge to it. Like, we'll see when the level of competition improves here going forward. Probably the best filter we're going to have on Tennessee to this point in the year against Oklahoma this following week. College game days there, true road spot for Nico, all that. But, like, Tennessee, they look like a wagon. They have been a wagon. We got them at number 7 right now in our playoff picture rankings after week 3. Miami, it's like that Hasbulla meme. For those of y'all that know Hasbulla, the business. That's what they're handling right now, handling business. It's been definitive. It's been decisive every single week since Florida. Florida's got their own issues, but Miami, to me, looks like the best team in the ACC, and Cam Ward looks like an absolute just problem for everyone else in college football. You're encouraged to see, too, for Miami, there's no letdown for them. Like, there's been no spot where, okay, we beat Florida, let's kind of mess around a little bit. You know, last week with Florida A&M, there was none of that. Handling business, keeping a good thing going, and you're encouraged by that if you are a Miami Hurricane fan. Now, Ole Miss is at number 5 for us in the playoff picture rankings. They're in the playoff penthouse. If you want them higher, they're going to have a chance to prove it. Jackson Dart is just absolutely hilarious right now with his stat line. 795 yards, 6 touchdowns, 87% completion percentage. Dude's just playing a video game right now. His swagger, his moxie. People say Ole Miss hasn't played anybody. I get that. They handled Wake Forest 40-6, but even with that being said, man, you should get credit for passing the tests the way you're supposed to pass them. And right now, Ole Miss is passing tests with A+. So if you're a Ole Miss fan today, just keep doing what you're doing, and good things are going to happen for you. Alabama at 4. We said it in our reaction video to the Wisconsin win. They throttled Wisconsin now on the road, 42-10. A lot of people saying, well, we'll see about, them bouncing back from the USF game, and they took them to the fourth quarter, and the offensive line, this and that. And it's just like, this team to me, Kalen DeBoer coached with the cut-it-loose personality and has the Saban genes still very much so in this roster, in my opinion. Jalen Milroe is making a case now to be a Heisman guy. We said it during the preseason. We have him as a Heisman finalist. All he does is run for multiple touchdowns and throw for multiple touchdowns. He's in total command. He is dialed in as a passer. Defenses cannot defend him. Linebackers are in conflict with defending the run or the pass. Like, they're a problem right now is Alabama. And they're continuing to trend upward. Cannot wait for that Georgia game at the end of September. Ohio State, they're at 3. Now, this is where we could get into some discussion. This is not a prediction, just so we're all on the same page here. If you were to pick a roster here, I think you probably put Ohio State. You can put them at 1. You can put them at 2. You can put them at 3, depending on how you feel about Texas and whatnot. But, like, based on merit, they were off this week. The 2 teams ahead of them have better wins. Now, Ohio State, you've handled business the way you're supposed to handle business. So, like, this is just like, essentially, you're at 3 this week for me. I don't think it matters. This is what I'm trying to make sure we're all on the same page here. You go to Autzen. That'll be a great chance for you to make your case. You're the number 1 team in America, but right now, you've handled business the way you're supposed to handle business. The teams ahead of you, like I said, just have better wins to this point in the year. Not the way it's going to be long-term, but that's how it looks right now. So, been dominant so far. Again, you're going to have your chance. Ohio State at 3. Georgia at 2. You got to drop them. You got to drop them after the loss to, or not the loss. Kirby Smart's going to treat it like a loss. After the 1-point win over Kentucky, there needs to be some ramifications in the rankings for that. Now, full transparency, I think Georgia's still probably the best team in America, but I don't feel good about having them at number 1 after they found a way to get a 1-point win over Kentucky on the road. That was the best thing, though, that could have happened in Georgia, the worst thing that could have happened to the rest of college football, because now Kirby Smart gets a full bye week to say, hey, y'all better figure it out here. Y'all better buy in. Otherwise, we're going to lose some football games here. Otherwise, we're going to go to Tuscaloosa and get embarrassed if we play like that. Kirby Smart with ammunition, with that roster, I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll have them at 2 this week, and we'll see what happens going forward. Based on their road dominance over Michigan, I have Texas as the number 1 team in America. Been consistent, been steady. Have they played anybody besides Michigan? No, not really, but at this point in time, I don't think that matters or should matter in terms of where you rank them. Without Quinn Ewers, and again, as of right now on a Sunday morning, don't know anything about Quinn Ewers. Looked like he had a good demeanor on the sideline. But if you have to roll with Arch Manning for a minute here, if it ends up being that way, and I'm not saying that's the case, but if it is, I think he's good enough to get you to Georgia undefeated. Steve Sarkisian has built a roster with depth at all positions, quarterback included, and having a dude like Arch Manning who physically, I don't think you lose a lot. I think that's a good sign for the Longhorns. So we'll see what happens going forward. But again, for our playoff picture rankings after week 3, our 12 seed, our G5 rep right now is UNLV, not 1, but 2 Power 4 wins, 1 over Houston, 1 over Kansas. Penn State at 11, they have a bye week. Excited to watch them in October when they play a little bit better competition. Oregon at 10, good to see some momentum from them. Good to see them look like how we expect them to look. Utah at 9, Cam Rising, expectation is he's back this week at Oklahoma State. Should be a great test for us, for them. USC at 8, Tennessee at 7, Miami at 6, just handling business. Ole Miss at 5, same deal. They're in the playoff penthouse, just keeping a good thing going. Bama at 4, throttling Wisconsin, leaving no doubt. Ohio State at 3, not their fault they haven't played anybody yet, but we're going to put them at 3 for now. Feels fair. Georgia at 2, got to drop them a little bit after that showing against Kentucky. And Texas at 1. You hope they get Quinn Ewers back, but even if they have to go without him for a week or 2 or however many, Arch Manning's good enough to get you to Georgia undefeated. I fully believe that. So let me know in the comment section. Let me know on Twitter and Instagram at JD Pickell. Follow me there. Let me know your top 12, top 11 plus your G5 rep when it comes to your playoff picture rankings after week 3 of the college football season. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We're going to keep this party rolling, and we will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.